Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you are joining. And wherever you are joining from, it is great to be with you. I am not sure what kind of day you are having today, but I feel an impulse to share a moment from my car ride with my son this morning. We just got back from a trip to the desert in California. And he's a competitive junior golfer, if some of you don't know that. And he played 2 days in a tournament this last weekend that were his worst rounds ever. And it was a really tough weekend. Driving home, he just didn't want to talk about it. And this morning in the car, he said to me, Mom, golf is a lot about, it's a lot like life. He said, sometimes you are in the water and sometimes you're in the bunkers, sometimes you're in the rough, and sometimes you're on the fairway, which feels really great. Um, and you just have to play the ball wherever it is. And there's a similar quote to this that he shared with me in the car. So I don't know if he heard that quote or if this is something that was just organic coming from him in terms of his own learning. But I thought I would share that to start today because whatever is going on for you in this moment, on this day, whether you are in a fresh day and just starting out, or you're closing out your day, or you're in the middle of the night, maybe there's a reason that I'm sharing that with you. And my message is to keep going if things are on top of you or you're feeling challenged or frustrated. There's another great quote in golf, which is your next shot is your best shot. So whatever happened in that last shot, whatever happens in the future, this is the shot that you want to focus on, this now moment. So just stay focused on the present moment and play the ball wherever it is and keep going. I guess that's wisdom from my son translating through me at this moment. Um, so changing gears a little bit, I wanted to mention a study that I was reading this week. It is from 2020. It's out of Ontario, Canada. And what the study found was that we have over 6,200 thoughts per day. You may have heard another number thrown out there, which I think is around 60,000, but these researchers actually um, used an MRI technology to establish the number of thoughts that we have per day and translated that to the number of thoughts per minute, which is 4.3 thoughts per minute. And even though they didn't tap into the content of the thoughts when they were doing the research, what they did is they tapped into the transitions from one thought to the next. And what they called those were thought worms. And this is what they described. So, for example, if your first thought worm might be, oh, what should I make for dinner? Oh God, I have to go to the grocery store. Second thought worm. Third thought worm. I have to do laundry. I have a trip tomorrow. Fourth thought worm. God, I hate to do laundry. Right? So that is an example of how our minds work, right? We go from one thought connected to the next thought, connected to the next thought. And eventually we get to this space where I think 4.3 is probably pretty low, but this is on average. And we get to this place where we start to thought loop, right? Where all these things start to happen. And I just found it very interesting that we have that many thoughts going on in a day. And the number of thoughts per minute was quite interesting. And so many of those thoughts are unconscious thoughts, thoughts that we just don't tap into. And so I thought today what we might do is a practice to actually help notice how many thoughts come in and to help stem the flow of the thoughts that come in. I guess the good news with all of this research that they did on thought worms is that they've proven that it's normal to have voices in your head because there is always this thought loop going on. So to me, our job is to master the chatter. That's essentially what we need to do. So today, the practice that we're going to do is called Zazen. It's a Buddhist practice, if you're not familiar with it, and it simply means sitting meditation. So during the meditation, you will inhale and exhale and count one. So I'm just going to give you an example right now. So you inhale, exhale, one, and then you breathe in and out, and that's two. And what you do is you count from 1 to 10. And you do this at your own pace, so there's no time involved. It's just simply based on your own rhythmic breathing. You inhale and exhale one, inhale, exhale two, all the way to 10. And then you begin again at one. And if you lose count, doesn't matter. It's just feedback that you are distracted and that you go ahead and begin again at one without any judgment. And the gentle repetition of this counting breaths from 1 to 10 gives your restless mind a bit of a reprieve. It gives it something to do while the nervous system settles over time. And it's a little bit like a mantra practice in a way. We're just doing a counting practice. And the point is to free ourselves from the thoughts, also called no mind in Buddhism, where we are free from the ego, we're free from right and wrong and bias and any sort of attachments that once we're in a space of being free of those things, we have access to profound wisdom and creativity and clarity. So today we'll be meditating for about 20 minutes, and I will keep track of the time. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. The main thing is to be in a position that allows you to be both relaxed and alert, ideally upright, but if you feel more comfortable laying down, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and put your hands in your lap or at your sides. And if you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and close your eyes. And if that does not feel comfortable to you, you're welcome to gaze at a point in front of you, just gently, softly, with a very gentle attention. And I invite you to let go of whatever came before this and anything that's to come, and to tune in to this now moment, this present moment. Perhaps thanking yourself for giving yourself this time and this space today to turn inward and to become more clear, more creative, more mindful. And we'll begin by taking a few long, slow, and deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, letting the body know it's okay to relax. Might tune into the contact points beneath your seat, perhaps your feet on the ground beneath you. And letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and depth. And for a moment now, doing a mindful check-in, asking yourself in this present moment, How am I? You might pay particular attention to any emotions that come up, any sensations that you notice in the body. How am I? And as you become more in tune with how you are in this moment, whether sensations or emotions have arisen or something different, allowing everything to be as it is without any judgment, any story. Perhaps saying to yourself, I am perfect, whole, and complete. Letting go of any need to hold or to resist. Letting go of any tension that you might feel in the mind or the body. And resting in this place of stillness. Perhaps bringing a gentle softness to the temples and the space around the eyes. Releasing your jaw and your tongue. Perhaps lowering your shoulders, relaxing your belly. Letting go of any tension that you might feel in the lower body or the lower back. Noticing in this now moment what it feels like for the body to be breathed. To be in tune with all parts of yourself. Noticing what arises in each now moment. And with each exhalation, relaxing more and more into the surface beneath you. Tuning in now to the natural rhythm of the breath. Noticing the flow as it enters through the nostrils or the mouth, into the chest and lungs or the belly, then moving back out the nostrils or the mouth. You might tune into the sensation of the coolness of the air as it enters through the nostrils. Perhaps the warmth of the breath as it moves out through the nostrils. Tuning into the circulation of the breath. You might notice what direction the breath moves as it enters the body. And as you stay with the breath, noticing how it feels to inhale and exhale, tuning in to this natural rhythm over and over again. We'll begin our practice of Zazen. I invite you now to begin counting the breaths. In and out. 1. In and out. 2. Continuing all the way to 10 at your own pace. And whenever you notice the mind has drifted off to a thought, a sensation, or an emotion, perhaps a daydream in the middle of counting, gently and without any judgment, return your attention to begin again at 1. It's okay if you have to start 1 over and over again. There's no need to try hard, to say that you're bad at counting. Simply return again and again. And we'll continue this practice for several minutes, and I'll keep track of the time. Counting from 1 to 10 after each full breath, anchoring your attention in this moment and the next. Counting 1 to 10. Keeping your eyes closed now, you may stop counting, letting your awareness expand in all directions beyond the breath, perhaps through the heart space into the space around you as you rest in being present in this moment, in the stillness for a few more minutes. I'll track the time. As our meditation draws to a close, I'd like to read a favorite poem by Dorothy Hunt. She writes, "Do you think peace requires an end to war? Or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now, in some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment. That is all. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment, this moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome." And when you're ready, you're welcome to bring some gentle movement back into the body. Perhaps a wiggle of the toes or the fingers. And tuning in again to the space around you. You might gradually deepen the breath. And if you're so inclined, you can bring some larger movements back into the body. You might move the wrists or the shoulders, perhaps moving your neck a bit to the left or right. And when you're ready, you're welcome to blink your eyes open, taking in the space around you with fresh eyes, a fresh perspective, perhaps even more clarity. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, for being with me, and for bringing yourself into stillness, for gifting yourself this time. The light in me honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. We'll see you next time.